They blame the billionaires so you stay broke. Let's talk about one of the biggest lies in modern culture. You're broke because billionaires are greedy. Isn't that what they tell you? Because that's what they want you to believe. That the reason you can't afford groceries is because some rich guy in a suit, he doesn't pay his fair share. And if that lie doesn't work, then they blame corporate greed, capitalism, big business, even though the government takes more of your paycheck than any billionaire ever will. It's a distraction, and it's working. Because here's the truth. Making money isn't evil. Making money isn't greedy. Money is the damn fuel that funds your life. But keeping you broke, make sure the government keeps their power, because broke people are easy to control, and that's their playbook. They tell you that you need them to give you free stuff, like out of the kindness of their heart. They're giving you their money. But it isn't their damn money. The government doesn't have any money of its own, except for the money you gave them. Now, this might sound intense, but let me bring this idea home for you. When I think about the government and how it operates right now, it reminds me of my former marriage. And looking back now, I can see the same tactics my ex-husband used that the government uses on its citizens. Sprinkle a lie with a grain of truth so that person will believe it and keep on believing it. See, I got married young, really young, and it wasn't a good marriage. It was filled with fear and manipulation and control. In that marriage, it was decided that I would pay all the bills, the mortgage, the kids' stuff, all the daily needs. He earned 3 times more than I did, but he only paid for the groceries and our annual vacation. And guess what happened every month? I was broke. He knew it and he used it. He would tell me, "Tammy, you're bad with money." And I carried that belief for years, because that's how mind control works. You sprinkle a little bit of truth so the lie becomes believable. I was always running out of money, but not because I was bad with money. It's because I didn't earn enough to cover all those expenses. But yet it still felt like I was bad with money. And that was the sprinkle of truth that sealed the lie. Now, especially when you're exhausted and being broke, it's hard to try to survive. And that's exactly what the government does to us now. They tell you it's the billionaires. They tell you it's capitalism. They tell you it's Trump. It's the US tariffs. It's everything except them. And it works. Because when you're struggling and you see someone with more money than you could ever imagine, doesn't it have to be their fault? I mean, the government is there to help you, isn't it? Makes sense, right? Well, there's this other thing that I heard Charlie Kirk say, something that hit me like a freight train. Fear is the weapon used to maintain control. And that's how abusive relationships work. They create invisible rules, rules you didn't agree to, can't see, and certainly will never be able to follow. And when you break one, the punishment is extreme, way more than what that crime deserves. So what do you do when faced with that? You stop trying. You stop speaking, because now you know what's coming. You fear the consequences. Even if you stay quiet, even if you follow every rule that you can see, they will still find a reason to punish you, because they keep the rules changing. That's how a corrupt system works. They use fear to silence you, to shame you, to control your decisions. And when fear doesn't work, they use confusion. They change the rules. They rewrite the meaning of words. They strip away your traditions in the name of progress. until one day you finally wake up too scared to even speak, too confused to even fight back, too overwhelmed to take action. And that's not an accident. That's by design. And if you don't believe me, let's look at just one easy example of how the government uses fear. Let's talk about the Freedom Convoy, led by ordinary, hard-working people. It ignited a spontaneous uprising of Canadian patriotism and unity that has never been seen before. Thousands of Canadians, people like you and me, we stood up, we waved our flag, and we said enough. And what did the government do? They panicked. They didn't listen. They didn't negotiate with us. They punished us. They imposed harsh punishment that didn't match the supposed crimes. They froze bank accounts. They jailed hard-working citizens. They have dragged out court cases for years. But not because these people were violent, not because they were criminals, but because they united the citizens against the government. Because they stepped outside of the script to just stay silent and accept your damn lot in life. Because they showed the country and the world that us ordinary people, we still hold the real power. And that scared the hell out of the government. Because the second we the people unite, the government loses control. And they know it. But Tammy, is this really true? I finally realized this truth about my marriage. The truth was that other wives didn't face the same rules as I did. They didn't face the same punishments that I did. The things I was punished for weren't even issues. And you can look around today, and I just want you to please ask yourself this same question. Are the protests that we see happening on our streets right now, the ones that are blocking traffic, painting streets, the ones filled with violence and hatred, are they receiving the same punishment that the Freedom Convoy people did? No, because they're not protesting against the government, and that's the difference. Our unity will break their control. My 3 truths. Money isn't good or bad. It's fuel. Money doesn't make you a good person, and it certainly doesn't make you a bad one either. It makes you resourced. It gives you choices. It gives you options. It buys your food. It pays your rent. And yes, it buys your freedom. This government wants you to believe that being broke is noble. It makes you a good person. That billionaires are the enemy. That profit is evil. But here's the truth they hope you never realize. If they can keep you broke, they can keep you quiet. That money is the fuel to fund your life. And if you don't have enough of it, it's not because you're bad with money. It's because you were never meant to have money. You were never meant to win under the rules they've set up. And number 2, fear does work because your brain is built to protect you. This is why we stay silent even when we can see the wrong, because fear hijacks our logic. It tells our brain, this isn't safe. Even when it's just speaking up or asking a question or telling a simple truth, we remain silent. That's why fear is the ultimate control tool. It doesn't need a cage or a weapon. It just needs to be put out there so our brain will stay silent because it gets put in survival mode. But here's the turning point. When you speak it, you break it. When you stand up, you beat it. And when you act anyway, the fear loses power over you. And the truth about our fear. After I left my marriage, and I mean really left, emotionally and mentally, I realized something that was really wild. I had always focused on how I feared him, But in a flash of insight, I realized the truth. He feared me. He feared that the minute I realized my full power, he'd lose control, that I wouldn't need him anymore, that the rules would flip, and he'd be the one exposed. And he was right. Now, does this sound familiar? That's the same energy coming from the people in power. It's why they twist the truth. It's why they move the goalposts. It's why they flood you with guilt and shame and confusion. Because they fear you. Because they know what you're really capable of. They know what will happen if we unite together. And the minute you know it too, their days are numbered. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look around. You already see what's happening. The only question is, will you believe what your eyes are actually seeing? And this is my final word. How liberating it is to finally release all the shame I carried for not standing up, for not speaking out. How freeing to realize, just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, it was always the red shoes that had the power. I had the power all along. And just like him, they fear you more than you've ever feared them. The government fears you because of what they are not, because they know it's the hard-working, ordinary people who hold the real power. And that's why they sprinkle the lie with a grain of truth. Because you're not broke because of those billionaires. You're broke because they designed a system built on fear, lies, and control. And they need you poor and confused and most of all, silent. And money isn't bad. It's the fuel that funds your life. And just like there was a pivotal moment in my marriage when I could no longer stay silent. That moment has come for me again. And maybe you are done too, because I'm done being silent. And I invite you to join me. Because here's the truth about us hardworking, ordinary people. We're not fragile. We're not broken. We're not uneducated. We are powerful. We are the ones who keep the lights on. We are the ones who built this country. We are the ones who pay the bills, who build the businesses, who runs the team. We are the ones who show up and get shit done. We are the powerful. And the second you see that, it is game over for them. Silence is no longer an option. We are the powerful people when we unite together.